the spirituality, I'm saying like, do you generally believe it, or would you like to believe? Like
Hmm.
there's a fine middle. Like spirituality, you can believe in whoever you want. I don't care. Like Buddha, Lord Buddha. You can be
Basically anything,
Jewish.
right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, any religion. But I'm just saying, like spirituality from that, because I'm saying spirituality as in like,
Yes, Shrek
like as a
exists.
religion. Yeah, yeah. Like if you believe in a
As a
higher
religion,
power.
I believe
Hmm.
in a higher power. Because here's the thing, I don't believe rock made the whole world. Like it just crashed
What?
in there and made life. I
Here,
don't
how
believe in
about
that.
Oh,
That sounds more
the
ridiculous.
the coincidence of life is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah. Rock though?
Oh God.
I don't know.
I don't really. I gave that up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I still went to church and all that, but I was just still please my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Well, here's the
I
thing. I don't
actually
believe
just
like church God, but like some higher form of power.
You have like that feeling like you believe in something, right? Like you believe like in a
Yeah.
higher, suppose like again a being, I guess, that created something in life.
Yeah. Like it's not specific, but I believe that there could be something like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, I see your point. Cause yeah, I agree with Juan here. I also like kind of believe that too. Like there's got to be something, right? But you're
Yeah.
unsure what that is.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would like to believe in a higher power. I like to believe that there's like, heaven and hell. I'd like to believe,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That there's something after death. And it isn't just
Yeah.
like the blank existence of nothing. You know,
yeah.
it's hard because I've had my grandma, like, my grandma, very, very spiritual lady, but she really was. I never liked it
Yeah.
too because I hated going to church. That was like one of my I hated going to church. Church was super annoying. I remember always sleeping. I
Yeah.
remember
Same.
always sleeping in church. I'd always sleep in church, and
Yeah.
like I like listening to the like pastors, but sometimes they're like I find them like hypocritical. You know, like
Yeah.
I've
I
seen a
honestly
lot of
never
stuff.
hear them. I would just sleep.
Because they're always in Spanish.
Yeah.
Straight up say.
but
What are you saying though?
Like,
but I
Yeah.
I don't
remember
want to take the effort to listen.
so I'd like to believe there's something, but I've always
Yeah.
had doubts. I believe in science, but I would like to believe that there's a higher power there that's saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
looking after me," or "Hey, it's my grandma."
There's a possibility that they could coexist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I believe in science. I believe in the fact that there was the Big Bang theory, that there was evolution, and it just wasn't like Adam and Eve.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
Yeah.
do believe
I
in
believe in
that,
it. I
but
believe
I
in
just don't
Adam and
believe like
Eve.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
just don't
continue,
believe
continue.
like the rock thing came first. I feel like something came like before like the rock crashed into it and made it.
No, it was just atoms. Like that was just literally the theory of the Big Bang theory. If I remember correctly, no one quote me on this. Um, I I believe that there was like this Big Bang where atoms started going together and started clashing with each other and just created this world, this gravity. I I believe in that. I believe that there was an asteroid that hit the Earth and had a
Yeah.
molecule there or any bacteria or something that created life. I believe in evolution, but
Yeah.
hold on. I also would like to believe in a God. I'd like to believe that, there is angels. I'd like to believe that there's something like that, something that's not telling me, oh yeah, after death, straight up nothingness. I'd
Yeah.
hope there's something, but
Yeah. I think everyone would.
obviously you don't know. You know,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
hard because death is a thing. Death, there
Yeah.
is death. There is things that you have to deal with as the older you get. Death is inevitable. It doesn't discriminate.
True. True.
Yeah.
Goes after children, goes after anyone, goes
It
after your
actually fits with
grandma.
the book that I just read. Do you have anything to say, Christian?
Well, when it comes to all this spirituality and when it comes to church, I wouldn't really say that I'm all into that.
Yeah.
You see, from very little, I always thought that I've never really liked church. I always found
Yeah.
it boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing
I've
is,
noticed the trend here.
like you guys know how I've always been in, I always like dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
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 I could
That's
never, dude. When every time I would see anything related to the church, or like saying, "Oh yeah, Adam and Eve were the first humans, and these are or Noah's Ark, and these were the animals," I'm like, "Yeah, no, I can't. Like, I couldn't believe that." I'm
yeah.
like, "That makes no sense." Like,
Yeah. Same kind of.
how about like how can you explain if this was truly millions of years ago? How can you explain like dinosaurs and shit and all like from the very start? I just couldn't take it, but I
Yeah.
do believe that there might be something uh, after death. I do believe that there was probably a being of higher power that created us for a reason. I don't believe that our existence is insignificant as it sounds.
Yeah.
Um, also, what's called I don't know, but like I have like this theory that maybe evolution is connected to God in some way. That evolution it was basically God's way of perfecting the organism in a way. I don't know. I always saw it that way when it came to evolution, or at least that was how I pictured it.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
yeah,
That
that
was a
was.
pretty good take.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very
that's
well
basically
spoken.
how I see it. I'm not too religious, and I'm not an atheist completely. I would say I'm
Hmm.
in the middle
Yeah.
because there are times, and yeah, there were times where I would try to I would try to connect with the religion. I would,
Hmm.
um, and
Yeah.
reason being is because I deal with depression and with I feel very sad a lot of the times. I just try to maybe imagine that there could be a being of higher power that could probably help me out of my situations.
Yeah.
Especially now because now I've just been feeling a lot more insecure about myself and just having I don't think I told anyone about this besides I think one of the counselors at Godinez because she called me I've been dealing with panic attacks and anxiety. Um um from what I understood it's not about what's called at first I thought it was because of school, but it's actually based on a completely different thing. Um from what I understand I may have like a type of OCD, but yeah, and I just see, try to talk to God and I would tell him, I would just try to understand that maybe there could be a being that could help me out of my situation. But then again, things aren't always as we expect them to be,
Yeah. That
and we
was
just
good.
have to deal with them.
Yeah, well spoken
Yeah.
though, because yeah, it's true. Like
Yeah.
honestly, we like there are like there's many things like that happen to like I won't say to us, but mostly like to everyone where no one's really sure what to really I guess believe in. We all have like different beliefs, you know, and honestly, it's just it just really I say what I think it counts or mostly what it counts on us is that it's just the way how we look at things, not what other people look at things.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them they do have some agreements, some disagreements. That's completely normal. You know, no one's perfect or anything. But like,
Yeah. Just
hey,
believe what you want to believe, I guess.
exactly. And well, yeah.
I believe, I'm just branching off of Ryan, what he said. I do believe that,
Yeah.
like, with other religions, with me, I believe all religions are valid. They are. Just, you have your beliefs you're believing in, and it's not, no one religion is superior.
Yeah.
Christianity isn't superior to Judaism or Buddhism or something. Like being Christian or being Catholic, it's even though they branched off the same thing, you know, believe what you want to believe. But I always feel like sometimes it is very scary because if you think about it, you don't know what's after death. You don't know,
Right.
like, you can ask yourself, like, tomorrow if I die,
Oh, if I
what are people
may,
gonna think? Like,
if I
yeah,
may,
go for it.
if I may, sorry to interrupt, but like if I may, actually, I have a topic before with that, like about death. Mostly it's mostly
Yeah.
like little like how I guess little meetings where I have, and I remember this discussion before, right, about death, about like how no one knows when it's gonna happen to you, you know, because you know as we're talking about a spirituality too and a religion, like I come with a family who's like really somewhat religious, right, and they always
Yeah.
All
mention about how
Mexicans,
God
yes.
is like
Yeah. That's true,
yeah,
actually.
that have been talked about like how they mentioned about how God can like literally just take your life without you even knowing. Because I mean, it's true. I could think of that too. Because no one really knows when you're gonna die, right? You're like, oh, you're gonna just die within like 3 days,
Yeah.
maybe. That's what people say, but then in reality, it's not really true. No one can really tell you that, you know. It's life
Yeah.
isn't bought. You can't like do anything to prevent it, like Nelly has mentioned actually earlier before. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, honestly, uh, it could happen. Anything can happen. Like tomorrow, the next day, you wake up, you just do your normal things you do, but then all of a sudden you get like a, I don't know, heart attack or something. You don't expect it, but like it just happens.
Yeah.
So technically, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that like from what we're talking right now, death isn't like death is something that will happen, something that we're not capable of controlling, and eventually it's gonna happen. And I don't know why, but I know I don't like believe in like some of the like like some things, but overall I do have some beliefs in some other things I found interest of, like something about in between death called the what was it called? I had it really in my tip of my tongues. I think it was called the afterlife, right?
Oh,
Where
afterlife. I see.
you're like not. I guess you're dead technically. Right, I think that's what it's called. Is it the afterlife? It's basically
Yeah, I
in
think it's the
between
afterlife.
death, where technically,
Oh,
Oh, limbo.
limbo.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah, limbo.
Yeah, limbo,
Limbo or
purgatory, same
like
thing. Purgatory.
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 purgatory,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
purgatory.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
See, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, purgatory. I always been so interested in purgatory. Like, how does it work? How is it, right? And I actually, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, I come with a family that's really religious. I've actually done Catholic, not Catholic. Is it Catholic school? Well, anyways, I did like church school, right?
The
And
Yeah.
doctrine,
yeah, for like el primer comunión and what's it
the
call it?
first communion, and the confirmation.
Yes, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Confirmation.
Yeah.
The Mexican
So
stuff that you have to
yeah,
Yeah.
the technically thing that like the most like the step of things you gotta go in within the church to get all your stuff. Think of
Yeah.
it like like technically like school. You graduate, there you go, you got that stuff. But
Yeah.
back to that topic. So I was like supposed to go to that church school, right? So there'll be a time where you will go to like a camp or supposedly camp, but like for me it wasn't really a camp. It was just like, oh, you go to like this other church, right? Where you'll spend a whole day without like no technology besides what's over there. So we spend like the whole day just over there talking about all that stuff, and then we come to this spot where we talk about life and death and all about that. I was like I mentioned, I was curious about the purgatory because I've always been, and like I talked to this woman as I told her, "Oh, what's in within purgatory? Like, what is that exactly?" Because she mentioned it, and the way she said, like, "Oh, since you're interested, you could check out this one book." I forgot what the book was, but I was actually pretty interested in it. But from
Yeah.
what she told me, it's basically a place like in between life and death, basically what I just said. But there's technically no time, she said. She said there's no time, like it's just a place. Think of it like more of a waiting room, right? There is no
Yeah.
time, she
Yeah. I
says.
see.
No time happens in there. She says also that it's like it's when you're ready to accept God. Oh, well, from that religion, right? That's what she mentioned.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's just a place where you're ready to accept God or like to go to God. So I always questioned it a lot. It was like, oh, what happened to this, or like, what happened if this happened? It was just curious because I was like interested in that point. I always been interested like about
Yeah.
ghosts, I guess spiritual, spirits, all
I
those
like
type.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
spirits and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ooh,
no.
No,
Oh,
I
ooh.
always
continue. I'm
been
sorry.
interested, and like, yeah, the only thing I've really been most interested is purgatory because like it will happen to us eventually, right? Oh, hopefully it does, like you mentioned, Natalie, because no one really knows.
Yeah.
Like we all
Yeah,
hope there's
like no one
heaven,
knows.
and like we all hope there's heaven, right? Somewhere to go, right?
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
just
something
something
after,
blank
Yeah.
and nothing. Yeah.
You
Like
want purgatory to be real?
like I like
Um,
I kind of wish it, I guess. I mean, I still believe there
no way.
is. You know, it just believes
Yeah.
and hopes, I guess. It's like making a wish, but like we're not
Yeah.
we're not
Because you're
sure
gonna.
if it will happen.
Yeah. I see. I see.
But yeah. Does anyone want to like take the lead from here? I guess suppose. I guess
Ooh.
Daniel,
Um,
since you're
Yeah.
the only
Daniel,
one.
Okay. Since we're doing spirituality here, I have.
spirituality, religion,
Yeah. Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. Okay. So I got two different things I want to say. I'm gonna start off with the first one. We were like in middle school. For some reason, I just got really into like exorcisms, demonology,
Hmm.
like so on. I just basically did a bunch of research on how to perform an exorcism, what you need, and yeah. And there's one time I like what if I make my own Ouija board? Because, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I grab a piece of paper, Google the picture, drew it, played it with like little. I took a part of the little whiteout things, right?
Hmm.
And I just used
Yeah.
that as a little pointer thing, and I just made a little circle on it, and yeah, and I played it right in the middle during lunch in middle school, like where everyone could see
Dang.
Did they catch
for
you?
like a week straight.
Hmm.
Did it work? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
And the worst part, and yeah, it actually worked. It just started moving by itself. Yeah, and so we asked because I remember this one time, this one week, I decided to play. We were playing by one of the little sofas, and
Hmm.
apparently someone got shot and died around the corner of the street.
No,
And
Jesus.
so I asked it. I'm like, "Hey, are you so and so of?" I forgot the guy's name that died, but yeah, he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, hey." I asked, "Is there heaven?" She's like, "Yeah." And then my one friend, I told him not to because it's against the rules. He decided to ask anyways. He's like, "My brother died. Is he in heaven?" And he's like, "It didn't respond."
Oh,
He
jeez.
asked again, then it moved again, and he's like,
Bro, why is it
"Yes."
forbidden?
I don't know, just something like
I think
What
guess
when
it's
you
I
something
think it
you
is?
saw, or
it's
like
because
looked up.
when you ask that specific question, like about anyone else,
Hmm.
that's when there's a chance that a demon might or an evil spirit might be like, "Hey, there's my chance to manipulate this guy and impersonate him."
Oh, jeez.
No, I see, I see.
Yeah,
That's
and
kind of
then
fucked.
I
That's a
also
weaker part. If that makes
yeah,
sense. Like you're vulnerable at that stage and where you don't. No, no, no.
yeah.
I understand. I have a scary story for that one. So
Ooh. Then I also
Ooh,
and
on
there's one
topic.
time, like the last time I ever played it, I came in contact with the main demon of the Ouija board.
Oh.
Yeah, and
oh, mama.
no, it's called Zozo.
Huh.
Yeah, Zo,
Kind of
and
sounds like Momo.
yeah,
Oh
but
my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
um, what's it called? But yeah, I asked her, "Are you gonna haunt me from now on?" Because I played it,
Hmm.
and because he broke the rule, he's like, "Yes, I'm haunt one of you guys." I'm like,
Man, what a.
"Yeah," I'm like, "Oh, I told him not to
Oh,
ask that
active.
question." And so yeah, we ended the game. I ripped off the pages, sprayed some holy water on
Hmm.
them,
Darn it.
and just yeah, it would have been better if I
Do you
burnt them. But
suspect that you're still haunted?
yeah,
I mean,
Has
yeah. I mean,
any
I wouldn't say
signs
like you
of
are
that?
being haunted or anything, but like
Because
it's
it also
something
can be
that,
that you're paranoid sometimes.
yeah.
yeah. But then the stuff that's been happening around me is like kind of
Yeah.
misfortunate, really misfortunate. Because our brand new car that like right, like
Hmm.
guaranteed it wasn't or like a lemon or anything like bad. Started to
Yeah.
shake like just out of nowhere. Like it just started shaking, making this weird sound. And we took it to the mechanic. Like, guys, you guys are lucky. You guys are lucky. You guys brought it in now. Because if you guys continue like this a little bit longer, it might have just combusted. You guys would have been caught in a fire
Oh
inside your own car. And
jeez.
I'm like, oh,
Oh.
Dang.
I'm like, that's fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, the other thing I want to talk about is that the CIA leaked a couple documents that apparently um make it seem like we're living inside a simulation.
Oh.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, like they said like you can
Ooh, this
manifest
is
anything
shitty
like
first person.
like you can manifest anything and if you do a certain thing um you can
Hmm.
get rid of pain by
Get cheat
saying
codes.
yeah there's
Cheat codes.
dude
What
believe
the?
it or not there's an actual cheat code to get rid of pain.
Oh
Up, down,
Jesus.
left, right.
Yeah, so like if
You
you
guys are too many up downs.
Left, right,
let's
left,
say if you
start.
hurt yourself
Uh huh.
you just visualize that body or the part that hurts or you just stare at it and just breathe in, close your eyes, and just say 55515, and it's not gonna go right away. It's just gonna slowly fade away until it's gone.
Oh Jesus.
And
But can
Five
you
five
also
one
control how your
five.
life goes?
huh?
Can you also control how your life goes? Like from when you're like a baby all the way to
That's
to an
basically
adult or
that's what
something?
manifestation is. You can manifest anything.
Oh. Oh, I see, I see.
You can
Manifest
manifest,
destiny.
yeah,
Okay,
manifest.
no
Let's
offense.
go
I
make
find
fake.
that very far-fetched.
I mean, I banged my toe yesterday on purpose, and I said, and I just looked, and I'm like, 5515, and it slowly faded away. I'm like, oh yes. Then I
That's
Oh,
the
burnt my
famous
hand.
okay,
word.
Then I,
okay. If I could just like butt in here. So you know how Chris just mentioned like how he finds that a bit like a bit like too good to be true, I guess, in a way, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
So there's this belief. I'm pretty sure you all have heard it before, and I'm pretty sure it's because like you've heard it once, right? I forgot what it's
Yeah.
called, but if anyone can remember the actual name, it's basically a belief where they'll give you a medicine, right? And they'll say this will cure you,
Yeah.
right? But so you mentally
Oh,
your brain will say it will work, it will work, it will work
a
to the point.
placebo.
There you go. Thank you. The placebo
Yeah, it's a
effect.
placebo.
So
Yeah.
okay, this is what I'm gonna say to Daniel now. With that belief, right, of the placebo effect, like how
Hmm.
Chris mentioned, he's like, oh, that's just too good to be true. The way how I hear that, right, about how you mentioned you believe that you say this, it will work slowly, right? Maybe
Yeah.
that could be just your brain saying it will work, right? Like the placebo effect.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
what
what
I
it
was thinking.
basically
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
honestly,
Or how
that
about you
sounds
break your leg
more.
and then do it?
Yeah.
No.
Then that's a
Mm,
real test because
Oh, you're
for
right.
some reason
right.
so the pain
Yeah.
fades
I
away
mean,
like
does
pretty quickly.
burning your hand on the stove on accident count?
Uh,
Sometimes you can't even feel burns.
Well,
Actually, that
that's
is
that's
true.
a
Well, I won't say burn. But I agree something with Angel because I have actually had experience where I've cut myself before by accident, or I don't know how. I find myself a cut, but once I realized it, it starts hurting like a lot
yeah. That's the thing. For some reason, our brain does that. Like, it just completely ignores pain until you
until you
acknowledge
realize
it.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why some people will like tell you to like look away from like you know how like the doctor will like use a needle to like inject you, right? It's like oh look away, don't worry about it, and then
Yeah,
you
but
realize nothing has happened to the point
yeah,
That's
they
but your
just
already did
brain
it.
normal
already
stuff.
knows it's happening.
Yeah,
So
I know. No, but it's basically kind of like that. You think about it, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Since we've discussed about like spirituality, and since we all have basically just given our thoughts,
Yeah.
how is there like
Yeah.
anything we could come to an agreement about something, you know, like in the topic?
There's
I mean,
something that we can't see or don't
Atheists are
know that with greater
obnoxious.
power.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
are.
we all
Yeah,
believe in like there is a greater power, and
Like there's something,
that there
right?
is something after
Just like
death.
in different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah,
Hmm.
everyone's opinion is valid. We're not like saying, "Oh yeah, your opinion's not valid."
Like yeah, you
No,
know what?
everyone's
That
opinion
thought
is
is
valid.
like
no, we're not
dumb
saying
or something
no.
like that,
You're
you know?
wrong.
Yeah.
Shut up. We're not saying that.
You're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
objectively wrong.
Like you can believe in, I believe that anyone can believe in whatever they want. You can't just like, just disregard a certain religion or disregard a certain idea. If you believe in it, that's you. You're not hurting anyone until you're being a
Exactly.
jerk about it and saying, "Oh, your religion is wrong," and blah blah blah. You
Then
know,
that's something else.
and that's
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 you know.
something else.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Also,
why I
I
hate
don't know
Mm,
if it's
atheists so
just
much.
me, but
Because
Yeah.
do
they're
you guys
not
ever
fucking
get like a
ready.
pet peeve that um
Hmm?
oh God, I hate when
Well,
people like come up to you and say you should believe in God or you
Oh,
need to believe
that.
in this. I hate people like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
My God.
I don't
I
think I
see
ever
your
run
Um,
into
point.
those types of
no,
people, but
no offense to anyone's parents, but I feel like there's every Mexican parent out there.
Oh no no no, for sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Literally, like we're
Like,
all Mexican. Hella.
wait,
what's
what
it called?
happened,
Here's an
Christian?
Yeah.
example. Here's an example about me, right? So, you know how I said that I've been dealing with depression, right? And like,
Yeah.
I just don't believe in what's called that praying is going to help me in any way. Um, Sometimes I'll get criticized by my parents telling me, if you would talk to God more, this wouldn't be happening to you. I'm all like,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear
I
you,
hate
buddy.
it when
Yeah, yeah,
I
I feel
hate
that.
it
I feel
when
It's
they
that.
like
say
they're
that.
pushing you,
Yeah.
right? They're like pushing you to believe in what they believe. Like, hey, like
Yeah.
I want to say, like, kind of like back off for a bit. Like, hey, like we all
Yeah.
have our different opinions.
Like, I don't even think God would agree with that.
I'm not saying like you're wrong or anything. Like to like if you're saying this to your dad, right? Like or your mom. Like, yeah, I don't think you're wrong or anything. Like, I can respect your opinion. I respect that. But like, hey, can you like also do somewhat the same to me? Cause look, okay,
Yeah.
just to
Like,
like
the parents also got put in the work, too.
yeah, yeah. But like, anyways, I want to like continue on Chris's story where he was mentioning it, right? Um,
Yeah.
I also have
Yeah.
what was it? I had like an experience, something similar like that, but I been like they always tell me things, right? And I remember my aunt
Yeah.
telling me this, and which I agree more with my aunt than my parents because like my parents like
Makes sense.
they kind of push me more, right? Like they're pushing you to like believe, right?
Yeah.
Whereas my aunt understands a bit more than my parents, but like she says and there will be a time where you're ready or not. It is up to you if you're ready to accept God. And the way she said it
Yeah, see,
made me
that's what,
actually
yeah,
more calmer than how my parents will say, like, "Oh, join this because yada 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 and all this," right? But yeah, like I understand my aunt and I kind of respect her a lot more for some reason. But like
I
Yeah.
she
found it.
gave it a
Probably 'cause of
point.
that.
She gave a good point. Like there will be a time where you either accept God or not. Like in her point, right? She said like you
Yeah.
there will be a point where you're ready. It doesn't happen today. It doesn't happen tomorrow. But it will happen when you're ready. Like when you're like you accept. You know.
Yeah, I see.
And that made me feel better because who knows? Maybe I will go back to the religion someday. You know, no one knows. It just depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you like feel about it. You know, it just
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you feel ready. In general, that's just how it is. It just takes time. You know, nothing's in a rush. You can't
Yeah.
rush something. Well, you know, but I know there's probably other excuses where they're like, oh, I rushed this or not. But like, isn't something serious? You can't rush something quick. Like for example, relationships. You can't rush a relationship to the point like you like, oh, this was gonna happen and whatnot. You know, it takes time to build a
Yeah.
relationship,
True.
and that's how I look at it too. Like if I were to join like my religion with my parents, right? It takes time
Yeah.
and like I guess effort in a way where you actually like do your part, right?
Yeah. To build faith in that religion or something like
Exactly.
that.
Nothing like happens quick. It takes time, especially with like these type of situations, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm So yeah, that's just like just bringing a bit more within Chris's point, like how he was mentioning it. Like yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you all went through that maybe, but like I understand that, and I just wanted to share that part too.
Yeah, like I just can't
Yeah.
stand it when what's called very religious people just want to force their religion on other people. I find that's
Yeah.
just a very awful way of teaching. And if you're gonna try to convince people, try to convince them in a more positive manner than just trying to say, um, "Oh, you're having bad. The reason you're having a bad situation is because you're an atheist, and because and what's called everything
Yeah.
that's
I hate
happening
that
to
shit.
you
Yeah.
is your fault because you're not with God." I'm all like, well, it's just like hard. It's like especially if you kind of want to believe,
Mhm.
like you start like believing that that's the reason why God left you, right? Like, you
Yeah.
believe that that's the reason why everything bad in your life is happening is because it's everything is because God abandoned that. You deserve everything that comes to you. And I just don't find that to be the best way of understanding the religion.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
though I
Exactly.
respect religious people, I just don't like it when they try to put their religion onto me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, basically.
Like, is it me or like they kind of pressure you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically
they
what
hella
they
pressure
do.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Mhm.
It's like I've noticed this especially in what's called Mexican households. Like they really just want to put you in the religion, and they really want you to be in it.
Mhm.
Yeah. True.
I mean, I won't blame them if you think about it like in a different point of view. If you were like the parent, right? I won't
Yeah,
blame you to
Yeah.
like do that to your own child, right? Like you probably do anything that you think that you believe is like good, right? Like you gotta set an example, right? And that
yeah,
kind of makes
Yeah.
sense why they're probably doing it, you know? I mean,
yep,
we
Yeah.
probably know by like our own parents, but like that is if they did share like some things about them like in their past, right? With you, I'm pretty sure maybe.
hmm yeah. Like
But like,
Yeah.
hey, like, yeah, I see, right? We like the one thing I don't like about I want to say this like in the world is that some people just don't look and like not they just don't look in other people's perspective. Like they're doing that for a reason. Like there's got to be a reason why they're doing that, you know? But sometimes
yeah,
like
Yeah.
we gotta kind of like even though we hate that like how they're doing it, we still gotta respect it, right? And it makes
Right.
sense. I remember there was a phrase once, something about like how to forgive, not because like you like not because for them, but for yourself. And how
Yeah. I think
basically
yeah.
what that
Something like that.
means is that you basically you're basically forgiving just so that you could be in peace, not make war, right? So in a
Yeah.
way, how I'm trying to say this is I just respect their opinions even though you don't like it is because like why would you fight, right? There's really no reason to. It's just their opinion. I know there could be probably like really persuasive, like oh hey do this that, you know.
Yeah.
But still, in all, like just I say keep your calm and like just respect them, even though they're kind of being pretty bad to you. But hey, that's just my belief, and that's how I think of things, how things should work out. But we have
Yeah.
people
I
in
think
our
you had a
like
good
in the
pick.
world that aren't really thinking the same as me. But hey, that's just my share of thought.
Yeah. I think this is the most smoothly the podcast ever
We
went.
really have,
Straight up.
and honestly,
Yeah.
I gotta say, basically, our time is up for today. Like I mentioned, I could only go up to 3 o'clock, and I want to say thank you for joining me. All right, thank you.
For sure.
Oh, thanks for having
No
us.
problem. Thanks for
Hmm
having us,
Yes.
friend.
Any last words you
Yeah,
guys want
thanks
to
for
say
having us.
before like I basically stop recording for now?
Subscribe.
Click
Oh,
on
that too.
CA
Subscribe.
documents.
Hit the like button, guys. But no, in all
Also, I'm gonna
reality,
put
if
this in the comments.
if you do really like spirituality, I really do like Duncan Trussell. So if you want to listen to his podcast, I like his podcast too. He actually he goes into he goes into spirituality and all that stuff. So
Ooh, would you
you know,
like to give me the link so I could probably put down in the description?
yeah.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
actually just give you his I like his family podcast. I think it's on Spotify.
Ooh,
It's like the Duncan Trussell Family Hour or something like that. But I'll
interesting.
send it to you.
All right, thank you. That will be basically down in the description, I suppose. Overall, I think this was successful. Oh, and honestly, thank you again for coming in to talk. And
Yeah.
if you guys want to, we could make it more instead of just like being an actual podcast, like we just did that. We could talk about other stuff,
Yeah.
like maybe like I think it was Angel that's mentioned it, or was it Nat? Where we could basically make it
Mention
into like a
what?
bit of therapy, like just talk about stuff, and like even
Yeah.
though it's like probably like one of those like topics where it's probably like on the lowest point, like at least we're there to help out and like give our discussions about it,
Yeah.
just to make like
Yeah.
people feel better.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that can help a lot of us, especially those who suffer through
Hmm
Yeah. It
mental
was
Like-
Matt
illnesses.
who brought it up first.
I know
Yeah.
I know
Mental
like
illness or
how
anything like that. You guys can
although
bring
we
it
may
up.
be like doing jokes and all, like hey, there will be times where we actually talk about a bit serious stuff, and honestly this was a pretty good successful podcast, I guess, or talk
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
mention instead, because I'll think of it more of a talk because we're all here together talking, giving our opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it was pretty
Yeah.
successful.
If you guys want, y'all can leave something in the description saying what
Mhm.
you believe in, what you think it was, all that
Yeah.
jazz and
Yeah.
stuff.
Actually, if you
You
guys
stay in the
want, you can send me your guys' link, and I'll put anything you want down in the description.
Actually,
And
I got
then for
like
those
one
people
recommendation.
who are still watching, I suppose, to the very end,
Yeah.
I guess you guys could just comment. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. My channel isn't really, popping off like anyone else's. It's just more to share out our thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts,
I'm about Rico
It's a
you know,
Aaron
starting
right now,
point.
questions,
so
comments,
keep it
or
fun.
any concerns that we may have, all that jazzy
Yeah.
stuff.
Give
Any
questions that we could
topics,
answer about.
Yeah.
any topics
Yeah.
anyone wants us to talk, please put on in the comments.
And for now,
Yeah.
we'll be making our own topics for now, since we're starting. But hey, I like this topic. It was pretty interesting, and I
Yeah.
really found it amazing. All right, then I guess that'll be it.
Ryan, have everyone had a nice day.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
One last thing. One last thing.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
was that
thank
the
you,
joke?
Angel.
He
God
just
damn it,
said,
Angel.
He really
I'm outta here.
he just really
He
just
really
got out.
rickrolled us.
His last words were "I."
Good place, good place. Oh,
Do you
Rico.
guys actually believe in spirituality?
oh, nice topic.
What do you mean by that?
Like, you can believe in whoever you want, but like, I'm saying like God or.
What
Oh,
was
I
that?
remember
Oh,
that.
she
I
left.
remember that.
She left.
I don't remember that.
Poggers,
Because
oh
here's
my
the thing.
god!
What?
Hold on.
Controversial,
Your
right?
conversation. Your conversation. Bullseye.
Oh, can you?
She really did.
You got a
Wow.
bullseye.
Yo, I thought when she mentioned about spirits, the spirit just took her.
I got that.